Okay. You're good.
I love you.
Yes.
All right, is it taping?
Mhm.
On here? On here?
Yes. Let me make sure.
It's not.
Yeah, it's recording.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, you're good. I just wanted to get it out of the way so I didn't get in frame.
Welcome to Parenting with Vanessa Kahlon. Today we have a very, I always say somewhat special, but they are, but this one is a very special soul because it's my dad here today. So with the rise of antisemitism going on and just what's been happening around the world, I would say that this was a perfect topic to bring him on to talk about his history and what he went through as a child and how he went to Israel and just, you know, the whole story behind all of that. So this is when you can say hello.
As a child, I grew up in Tripoli, today they call it Libya. Actually, the memory of it is not very nice. Was not very nice. I remember at the age of 3 even, was a program. Was in November, during November time. Time was very, very hard. Was cold, raining. And we had to stay there about 4 or 5 days in night time to go through that because we were afraid to come down, would be mocked or killed by the rioters. So we stayed there for about 5 days. At the end, we came down. I don't know how we came down. I really don't. I don't remember the stairs because I was very, very young. I came down, my mother held my hand, and she went to walk where it was burning and screaming. We could hear it. So she took me over there, but she didn't realize what she's gonna see, what it is. When I went inside, we saw a few people were murdered on the floor. And she wanted to cover my hair, my eyes, and to go out. And I was insisting I want to see it. We saw, and then we came back. We came back, it was very, very hard. I was very, very frightened. As a kid, it was not an easy thing to go through it. And one day, after that, one day I was playing outside and I heard a bomb explosion. I was about 100 meters, about 300 feet from the bomb. And I looked as a little boy and I saw my uncle bleeding, his hand floored. And I was shocked. It was a bomb just landing on him because he was defending his own people, protecting them. And that's another trauma for me. I couldn't take it. After a few days, my mother and her mom, my grandmother, said, let's go to the hospital. We went to the hospital and he was there. Then we knew he lost also his sight, a lot of sharpness in his body. And for him, I was the world. I'm his nephew.
You're the oldest. You're the oldest of 8.
Say it again.
I said you're the oldest of 8. The oldest child.
The oldest child.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes the hearing it doesn't help as much when you're closer to me. I was the oldest child of my mom. And actually I was very, very lucky as the oldest child because my dad family, his mother and his dad, they had 5, 6 girls. When I was born, the world was done. That time, a boy is a boy at that time. So I was really with the family. Everybody just was clinging on me. Come from my mother's side is the same thing. She has about 6 or 7, and 5 of them died during the fighting to fight for survival. And the other 3 were blind. So I was the oldest, the most. That's actually my luck. That's my happiness. Everybody called me and want me and that. And thank God that was there like that, because that helped me to avoid all the trauma, all the riots, it was a nightmare. It's protesting right now. It's like here.
So what year was this? This was what, 19?
It was about 1947, 46. No, yeah, 47, 46. I was a young boy, a child. And
Then how did you escape with your family?
we didn't escape quickly. After my uncle was wounded in that, then we heard my father lost his eye during the fighting. He lost his eye. So we decided to, in 1948, no, it was about 1950, my dad wanted to go to Israel. It's our dream. We registered and we were accepted, and we went to the port, and we went to Israel on the boat. So when I arrived to Israel, I thought it's milk and honey. I thought it's so peaceful, our own country. And then, my God, we were surrounded by all these countries. Just they went out of Israel. They went out of all of that. And I said to myself, my God, here we go again. Here we go again. When we arrived to Israel, they asked my dad how old I am. My dad did not remember. He didn't know the date, he didn't know the year. He didn't, because it was chaos all over. He didn't know. So we gave him my age, a different age. Like I was older than I am. So I had to go to the service in Israel, the army, 15 and a half years old. But when I started, I was so upset about the world. I was so disgusted. So I just want to be in the service and try to defend my own people, try to have my own country. I did go to the military. I served, and when I got out of the military, I went home. Actually, coming back, I didn't go to school. The first year I went to school was my dad took me an Italian school because it was Tripolitania, Italia. And I remember when the teacher came and he gave me a pencil and he gave me a eraser. And I remember that morning he said in Italian, "Sono maestro Farina." My name, I'm the teacher Farina. So that's how I clicked. But after that year of the maestro, and then we went to Israel. Israel was very new after 3, 4, 5 years. Was no welfare, no food, nothing. And I couldn't go to work. I had to start working at the age of 8, 9. And my father was wounded, lost his eye, had a heart problem. I remember one morning I was coming out of the house having a bottle of tea and bread in my hand and go to work, walk about 4 or 5 miles. I remember I was coming out and I turned in the back, I didn't know why, and I saw my mother and my father were crying. Their oldest child is going to work and they can't afford to take him to school, they can't do that. It was very hard time, it was very hard time. It was very hard time growing up, see my friend, hear him from the window, going to school, they talk about schools. And me, I can't afford, I can't go to schools, I didn't know what schools are about. It was not easy, it was not easy. But on the other hand, I realized I have to go and fight for myself and try myself. I learned Hebrew from my grandfather, my mother dad, who was a spiritual rabbi, and my uncle. And that's really what I did. I learned. I self-taught until today. I'm a real estate broker, I do the business, I do that. It was not schooling, self-taught from my family. I want to survive with dignity, with pride. And I helped my family a lot, and I'm so happy about it because really they helped me a lot, they sustained me a lot, they hold on me, they thought the world of me. And I said, I have to give it back. And I did, and I did, and I did. And that's really, that's when we got to Israel, after I finished the service, I decided to go to search for a little bit better life. I know Israel was a small country, constant with the problem with the war that time, with the people around it. So I decided to go to Europe. And that's how I made it. I was working so hard, and then a friend of mine came to me, a good friend, he used to sell flowers, stores. He came to me and said, Ben, I want to take you to a company and let me talk to you. And I said, okay. I went with them, and I said, and he took me to a company I didn't realize was a modeling company. Modeling. And the people came, talked to me, and then bring me croissants and coffee. I was starving to death. I could power all of that in a minute, but I was very polite, have small piece and that. And they came, they start measuring my hand, my did, and I really didn't know what they were doing. I was not that educated. The only thing I had in my life is common sense. What people are all about. Actually, when I travel through my life, just I want to know people. I love people. I love who they are, what they are, I don't care. Anyway, I went there, and then I said, okay. And then my friend, the flower store, said, Ben, okay, we'll take you. They went, I went home. I used to live in the 7th floor, was only stairs. We went up there, and I said, I will call you when they need you. I don't have a phone, I don't have nothing. I had a little room. I remember one day, he came up, said, Ben, the company, they want you to come. He gave me the date. I said, okay, so I will come and pick you up. He came and picked me up. And we went to a place in Copenhagen, the name is the Tripoli. Tripoli is one beautiful place. In Copenhagen, everybody goes to that place. And we went in the back of it, and I saw tons of people. I said, what's that? I said, Ben, they came to see you. I still couldn't get it. I didn't realize what it is. So we took the elevator, went upstairs. And when we went upstairs, they show us all the suits that we had to wear, that we have it with my name. I wasn't frightened, I was shocked, I didn't know where I am. Like I said, no education, nothing. So when my time came, they came and they start checking the suit, what kind of material, what kind of that. And then they mentioned my name. And I was listening. It's like they're not talking about me. They said this guy had it in France, in Italy, in that. I was shocked. I was nervous. But I said, I have to do it. I have to make some money. The family needs it. I have to do it. And I was really shaking. But when I started walking on the stage of the modeling, people were screaming and clapping and that. That's given me so much confidence. It gave me so much pleasure. And I started walking in this and just really, and from there I made it and make more. I was all over in Scandinavia modeling. When I get a lot of money, I send to my family. And it was crazy in the world. And that's where I am. I went there, they went back to Israel. And then I studied acting. From acting, I went to Rome. I was acting in Rome on the spaghetti western and all of this. I did. There is a lot you forget about it. You can't just remember this.
Well, you did study under Lee Strasberg. That's a big name.
Uh-huh.
And well, you did study under Lee Strasberg.
Say it again.
You did study under Lee Strasberg.
Oh, yeah, I did, because I want to, my idol as an actor was Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando, Robert De Niro, I like, so Lee Strasberg was a great teacher. And I was accepted to study under him. It was costing me an arm and a leg. But I had to do it, I had to work. And I studied under Lee Strasberg. And really, I did that, and then I went to Stella Adler to see, and then, I met my wife in Rome. I got married. I had my child, Chera, your sister, and then my first wife was dying of cancer. When she died and passed away, I said, I have to raise my daughter. That's more important for me than my career, than what I'm doing, nothing. And I did that. When she passed away after 6 years, I met my wife, your mom, got married, and thank God for it. And we're here where I am at.
So can we talk about how you got to Israel?
How I got to Israel?
Yeah, that's the story behind.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned before a boat, and I wasn't sure the whole. You never
Israel,
really talked about it.
I got to Israel because we want to get away from there.
But how was it? How was the process leaving?
The process, that time Israel opened, we can have Jewish people come and live in Israel. That's the process. But you have to be healthy, you have to be there to be accepted. But yet my uncle, the one who was wounded, who lost his eye, his sight, and he lost his hand and chopped, he was living with us. But how they would not allow him to go there in Tripoli. They would not allow him to come to Israel. So I was as a kid. I don't know, they were whispering how and that. He was a stowaway. He ran to the ship. They let him move in. He went to Israel. So,
You were on the boat though too.
no, I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
He was ahead of us about a year. When I got there, I don't know how my family communicates. No telephone. Mailing letters, I don't know how they got there. He went there, and then after that we applied. We went to Israel. And again, when I came to Israel, my dad gave my age like 3-4 years older than what I am, who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did.
But even when you were living here in California, in Manhattan Beach, you still went back when there was a war.
You know, I always go back because always my heart is there. My mother, my father, my brothers. I was the oldest. I was the guy who worked. I was the guy support. I always go back. Israel, it's always in my heart.
But even for the wars though, you were called back.
Who-
Like the Yom Kippur War.
That, we'll pass that.
Okay, we'll pass that.
Yeah, we'll pass that.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Uh-huh.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I didn't hear you.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, I thank you guys for this. I wasn't really expecting. I thought really I was going to talk about what's happening with the riots with
You can say something now. I just needed your story first. And you can take this all part out. I just needed the story first because you need to connect with the
Do you
listener.
mind if I go to the bathroom, come back?
Yeah,
in a
come
second?
back.
Leave it here?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just needed to have. Okay, right. What do you want me to ask you?
What do you think about what's happening on with
Okay.
Israel?
Yeah, that's fine.
Then you can talk about when you went to Israel, when you got out and with your dad, you woke you up in the morning and you saw Israel. That's really very powerful. I mean, it's up to you.
I will tell you about that. No, when we got,
Are we
Oh,
on? Are we on?
Yeah, you guys are. It's recording.
Okay.
I was sleeping on the boat before we arrived to Israel. And I remember I was in the bunk boat. My dad was pushing me. Behor. I said, what? He said, we got to Haifa. I jumped and I saw all the lights. That's amazing, amazing. I mean, Israel was for us, for something unique. Unique it's more than a biblical. What bothers me the most, when the writers said, you know, Palestine is free from the river to the sea. And I said, one time, I was in San Diego with my wife, new. And it was a guy from the Palestinian, Jordanian. And I asked him, why do you see that? Why do you say that? I said, did you ever have a prime minister or president in that country? The Palestinians said, no. Did you ever have a currency, that's your own currency of that country? I said, no. Did you ever have a flag, the name of the flag? I said, no. And then he said, we lived there. I said, the British lived there. The Turkish lived there. The Byzantine lived there. I can name you 10, 12, 14 countries that lived there. I said, and now you're claiming even Jerusalem is your country? Is your capital? I said, the Muslim religion is 1426 years. King David built it 3,500. Which bugs me the most, they have 24 Arab country and 36 Muslim country. We're fighting only for one country where to live. I told them, if we had 24 country and you don't have any country, only one country, I will fight for you. But for you, you don't care. Just you want to take this mine, that mine, that mine. And that's really the upsetting. But thank God for Israel is very strong, very powerful. We can handle it, and thank God for America. It's a very beautiful country. We help, they know who to help. They're not just doing it because we are there, no. And I wish people would appreciate this country. They have done a lot for us, and we have done things. And that's how we believe, and that's what it is. And that's why still sometimes I like to run away from what happened when I was a kid and what we went through, and to forget all about it, and to live my whole life. But people still bring it in, protesting in, screaming, shouting. Look what they're doing with our country. It is crazy. It is crazy. And that's really what it is all about. And I love human beings. I don't hate anybody. I don't. But sometimes it's not up to me.
Right.
Yep.
Any last words?
Any
last words?
For what?
Any last words?
Last my word?
Any last words you want to say?
Well, I hope one day will be peace, and the world will live with each other, to stand with each other. Just for some reason, people have so much hate, and hate is self-destructive. Hate does not help anybody, and that's really what I hope, to leave us in peace. And that's it.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sweetheart.
I love you.
I love you. Bless you.
There you go. Okay. That was a lot better than what you wanted to originally do.
How long was it?
Yeah, how
That
long
was really, really good. I think it might have been